Hello and welcome to another edition of Midlands Business Update, the Big Centre TV show that tackles the big talking points in the local economy. Later on, there's a chance to see what happened when Mike Prince met up with Chinese food pioneer Wing Yip, whose headquarters are in Birmingham. First, though, to a local company which has much to celebrate in its 25th anniversary year. Engineering company ADI Solutions turns over £63 million a year. Its clients include some of the world's best-known brands, and the boss has not long returned from a visit to Downing Street, which I'm sure we'll hear more about shortly. So much to discuss with Managing Director Alan Lusty and Sales and Marketing Director James Sopwith. Gents, thank you for joining us on the Big Centre TV sofa.
Thanks,
Alan,
Mark.
I guess we start with you. Take us back 25 years to day one of the company, or in fact even before that, how the company came to be, and then sort of take us through the story as it's developed.
Yeah, I mean, if I take you back to my childhood, I was one of these lucky people that I knew what I wanted to do from the age of 12, and it was a case of then how do I do it and how do I get there. Unfortunately, through my ventures of school, I failed my 11 plus, so I didn't really get any qualifications from school. But because I knew what I wanted to do, then I was still going to go and get it, and headed to be an apprentice. So I took it probably the hard way. Instead of getting good qualifications, I went the wrong way or the harder way into being an apprentice. What I saw, as far as ADI is concerned, was an opportunity to fill a gap in the market, and that was to provide a one-stop shop for engineering. But no company could provide that from day one. So our business block, or our blocks for building a business, is based on let's add a new discipline to the business every 12 to 18 months.
So where did you start then at day one? Where were you based?
We started at Melchett Road in Kings Norton. In fact, we started at my house in Cofton Hackett. So that was just a one bedroom that was used for about 2 or 3 months with our first employee. We quickly moved into the Kings Norton, and we've been resident on Kings Norton for the whole of that time really, and just gone up in size in buildings.
And you now employ, over 400 people? And tell us what the company is today then.
It's 450 people. 2014, it was £64 million turnover. Our plans within 5 years is to be at £120 million turnover business. And that's really following the growth for the whole 25 years. My view is you either grow in business or you die. Trying to stand still is not an option. So growth is always on our agenda, very high agenda.
You must be really proud looking back at where you've come from and what you've achieved there.
Tomorrow is our celebration, and obviously what we've been doing is putting together some film clips and some old photographs of what we have achieved, and it talks about the hard times. ADI have actually been through 3 recessions, but each recession has made us stronger, and the last one has made us determined to grow. And in fact, we grew more in the last recession than we did in the previous 15 years. Really.
And that's a really good sign. I mean, James, one of the things I always seem to think with successful businesses is that they've spread their sectors that they're working in. I mean, just list some of the sectors that ADI are involved in now.
I think in terms of some of the market sectors, food and drink is our largest sector. But if you look through pretty much any manufacturing business in the UK, and that could be in the aerospace, it could be pharmaceuticals, it could be defence. If there's a manufacturing process that's involved, that's where ADI reside. And as Alan said earlier, a one-stop shop is really what we were trying to achieve. So the business started as an electrical installation company, and then it's progressively grown, and currently we've got around about 22 divisions with 22 specialist services within the group. And that allows us to diversify. And as Alan said, in the last 10 years, we've quadrupled in size, and that was through the recession, and that was both from a turnover and a people point of view. And a lot of that is through a lot of hard work, but we're obviously not naive. But by the same token, it is about broadening our horizons in terms of the engineering services that we supply, but equally looking at new customers, bringing in talent from outside that strengthens our management team and brings in new skill sets each time.
And so you do what? Automotive, aerospace, food and drink. What would they be the main sectors for you guys?
There would be. I think it would be quite difficult to pigeonhole ADI because, as I say, effectively, if it's a manufacturing company and there's a manufacturing process involved, that's the sector that we can be in. So we don't really focus on one particular one. If we graded them in, in how much business we do in each at the moment, food and drink's the largest, automotive would be the second, then probably defence, and then aerospace, and then pharmaceutical. But effectively, it's that manufacturing sector, which is very, very broad. So it could be paper, it could be paints, it could be whatever it might be. It doesn't really matter. The areas we're not particularly in is construction. So when we're talking commercial buildings and what have you, that isn't what we do. Our business is very much more around process oriented.
And so, Alan, then I imagine this is the broad spectrum of work that you've got is probably one of the reasons that you were handpicked to take a trip down to Downing Street and wined and dined by the Chancellor, weren't you? was that sort of a manufacturing industry fact finding?
Yeah, it was something put together by George Osborne himself, and what the government have finally acknowledged for some time, but not being able to do anything about it, is really that something like 80% of the UK manufacturing is actually small to medium-sized businesses. The other 20% is your global companies. So really, a major part of the economy is the small to medium. ADI is a medium-sized company, and it was great that the government picked ADI for what we were doing to promote a service to manufacturing.
Did you feel like the government wanted to listen to what manufacturers had to say then?
I think that there was already a bit of, we're trying to work now with the government or at least our local agencies to try and get them to understand our problems of apprentices, of the trades and all that really, and try and get it onto the agenda, or to help to get it on the agenda. And I think because we're trying to do that locally, that then naturally led into, okay, well now there's an invitation to go talk to the team in London really. So it was good that there was only 50 of us there, 50 from around the whole of the UK, not 50 from the Midlands. And ADI was chosen to be at that. But it was George Osborne saying, we appreciate what you're doing, let's do more of it, and we are there to listen really.
So it's a feather in your company's cap. I mean, you mentioned apprentices there, and obviously you've come full circle, haven't you really? You started as an apprentice, and now you're launching an apprenticeship scheme in your business now. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, we've launched what we call an apprentice academy, and what we want to do is to almost use it as a flagship, and if ADI can be the first, then we like people to copy us. So if we do something and it's great, then excellent, really. But we know that the situation with apprentices is going to pick up in schools soon, and what we want to do is to be a company of choice for even an apprentice. So by having the academy on board, hopefully the apprentices that are coming forward will choose ADI. Rather than other companies where they've got that choice.
You've got a bit of a head start. I mean, let's talk skills in general terms a little bit. How difficult is it to get the kind of workers, be them apprenticeships or just other members of staff at the moment?
I think one of our biggest challenges, because we are growing, we've quadrupled in the 10 years, as I said before, it's actually the trade skills that we would call, so the manual skills of typically mechanical or electrical biased skills. There is a huge gap in the market, and I think it's quite well known, and actually we were at an event the other day saying that by 2020 there'll be a shortage of 300,000 engineering trade skills by 2020. That's a shortage of, and what we're seeing that today. So actually it's very difficult. So finding the right apprentice is one thing, but actually we need up to 5 new tradespeople per week, up to 5. And that's a problem. That's a challenge for us.
Do you think it's a perception issue, the fact that the perception of what the jobs doesn't match the jobs, or is it just a lack of suitable skills out there?
I think it's possibly a little bit of both. I think education has a massive part to play in schools and what the perception is of engineering, and maybe the perception of engineering is still perhaps a little bit 1970s. It's dirty, it's oily, it's not the sexiest, if that's the right word. It's not the sexiest industry to go into. If you came into our offices, you can see us wearing white. Our mechanical workshop is a very light grey, and actually may even go to white. We have another workshop next to that, our panel shop, that is white, and the floors are white. Yeah, that's the levels we're at. So, and it's far, far from a perception of dirty, oily environment. And people can actually choose it as a career. It's not a job.
Just the same, I always think, as the news industry. I used to watch programmes where you've got people running through newspaper offices shouting, hold the front page. I never saw that happen in 26 years of working in the newspaper business. Let's finish, gents, we must say, 25 years, you've had a party, conference, big get-togethers. What have you been up to these last few days then?
Yeah, the conference happened last Friday, and we tried to get as many people from around the UK, and obviously we have a major facility in Ireland. So 45 of our team came from Ireland. So out of our 450 people, we actually got 350 to the event on Friday. We launched our new workwear, which we're proudly wearing today. And really, but that day was for the people that support us. It wasn't Alan's day or James's day. It was for the 350 troops that managed to join us. And also the people that are either retired or anything else. We celebrated the whole 25 years, and it wasn't down to just one person. It was down to the whole team. So the whole day was letting the team enjoy. But it wasn't so much a conference, it was more of a celebration to say, look what we've achieved.
Yeah, well, after so many ups, downs, recessions, peaks and troughs, then I guess you deserved your celebration. Gents, thank you so much for coming in. Welcome back. Well, ADI, we're talking about the importance of food in the West Midlands economy, and that's never been more true for our second profile tonight. Oriental food firm Wing Yip has come a long way since its formation back in 1969. It's now widely recognised as the UK's leading Oriental grocer, supplying authentic ingredients to Chinese and Asian restaurants right across the UK. And it's all coordinated from its 10-acre headquarters in Birmingham, where the warehouse and national distribution centre covers almost 200,000 square feet alone. Not bad for a man who came to the UK with just £10 in his pocket and some very big ideas. Well, Big Centre's director, Mike Prince, sat down with the founder, Wing Yip, OBE.
I always teaching myself, I saw half the world before I landed here with £10. And then I was washing up for a few weeks in Hull and then be a waiter. By the time I be a waiter, I get to know the chef. They all come from Hong Kong. So I talked to them. How long you been here? They said, been a few years. I said, why didn't you start your own business? They said, you must be crazy, young man, who doesn't? Because I got no money. So I always tell them, I would like to be a partner. And he said, well, have you got money? I said, of course I got no money. I have the money's in the bank because I come from a business family and know where the money is. So that after some time, they said, okay, you're going to find a place, we'll be your partner. We've been cooking, you speak English, you'll be the manager. I said, okay, that's a deal. And then I bought myself a scooter, motorcycle. Within 6 months, I've been, about 3 months, every weekend or not my day off, I'm driving from Glasgow to Edinburgh and back for 2 days. So after 6 months, I almost been any town in UK, in England and Scotland, over 150,000 people. I want to have a feel.
That's an amazing trip.
I have a feel. And then I found a place in Hull, in Clacton-on-Sea. By the Clacton-on-Sea, there's a Butlins holiday camp there. Butlins holiday camp. The maximum, the high season got 8,000 to 9,000 people, including the red coats. They all finished their meal at 9 o'clock. They couldn't find any places to eat, only fish and chips. I bought that little restaurant above first floor. So my partners be a chef, I be the managers and the head waiter. So non-stop every day, because at 9 o'clock when the pub closed, 9:30, then when the fish and chip closed, we full until midnight.
So you've done incredible research all across the UK.
Right.
You find this tea room that you convert into
right.
a Chinese restaurant. And it's so clever. So some people have had a meal already, probably 5:30, 6 o'clock
That's right.
at Butlins or wherever. But by the time they've had a couple of pints, they want some more food.
That's right.
And so they go to your restaurant.
That's right.
It's very clever.
We make money for first 18 months, queuing up all the time. Bank holidays, we have to non-stop 12 hours a day. So after 1 year, I want to buy another business. I went to Barclays Bank. Went to Barclays Bank. The gentleman called Mr. Paula. He said to me, young man, you want another business, another restaurant? I said, yes. You've done very well here. How about in the winter time? You wouldn't do well. I said, that's why I'm looking for a business for winter time. So when the summertime gone, we move our stuff back to winter time. So I found another place within 6 months or a year in Ipswich. But in those days, Cold War, a lot of Ipswich have a lot of American base, Bayswater, Woodbridge, all this. Hundreds and hundreds of soldiers, American soldiers. Those soldiers stay in the camp 4-5 days a week. When they come out, they got a lot of money. So they take the English roses out.
English girls out, yes.
Went to the pub. The local boys punched them because they had a lot of fight jealousy. Because they got money, they were American dollars.
But you didn't have any fights in your restaurant, or did you?
So we opened a dinner and dance called Mandarin House. A dinner and dance, that's very expensive. So the normal English boys don't come in. So they enjoy themselves.
That's incredible
Because
market research.
the English young men make money a week. They spend 7 days, have chance to spend that money. But when in American base, they're only allowed to leave the base 2 nights a week. All they stand by for Cold War. They only say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
So that's when they want to go and have
That's
a
right.
couple of drinks, and then
And
they
the
want to
dinner
take their
dance.
English rose,
That's
as you
right,
put it,
that's right.
for a Chinese meal.
And some American young men, they first came to UK. They didn't even know how to spend the money. They £1 20 shillings. If you are saying 18 shillings, they give you £2, keep the change. They thought it's,
Good tippers.
they're not intended.
Oh, I see, not intended, but even so, they were
They-
good tippers. Yeah.
They show off.
So there you are in Ipswich. So we've been to Clacton, we've been to Ipswich. Tell us about the next move, Birmingham. I have read that you looked at an old book about the
That's right.
Industrial Revolution,
That's
and you
right.
saw the 3 places that had big populations were Liverpool, Manchester and Birmingham.
That's
I know
right.
that you thought that Liverpool was overcrowded, Manchester was expensive, and then you chose Birmingham.
That's right.
And you came from running restaurants to supplying restaurants, possibly because of those Americans and the odd punch-up. But tell us more about your choice for Birmingham.
By the time, 10 years after I had my first restaurant, Clacton-on-Sea, I sent my brothers all over. And then we said to ourselves, we're not cooks, we can't cook. We can't cook. The next thing, instead we supply them restaurants, foods. We're not making cars, we supply steel. We have a steel mill instead. So I went to the library to borrow a book to see all the big names, Marks and Spencer, Royce Bank, all this, where they started. It's surprising to know all the business people are starting outside London. So I said to myself, Boots from Nottingham, Marks and Spencer from Leeds, Lever Brothers from Liverpool, Midlands Bank and Lloyds Bank in Birmingham, Barclays East Anglia. You can't tell me a big business from London. And then I said to myself, London is a place you end up, not start up. You should finish in London, not end up in London, not start London.
So you make your money outside. And then you go and spend some of it anyway
And make more
in
than
London.
London.
Yes.
London never make anything but money. In Midlands, we all make things that don't make money.
So this was another smart move, may I say, from learning the trade. You've run 2 restaurants,
3 restaurants.
3 restaurants, and then you say, right, really it's a bit like the California gold rush, isn't it? They often say that the people that really made the money are those that sold the spades to the people who are prospecting the gold. So you're saying, let's supply the restaurants. That's where the growth is going to be.
Right. So,
was that easy?
Not easy to start with. Look back, it's a bit hard because you don't know how much amount and what they actually want. So Birmingham, I learned something from a Shanghainese. You know Shanghainese? Shanghainese people ask Shanghainese, why is Shanghai so prospect? You know what they said? They said we're the south of China, south of the...
Prince there talking to Wing Yip, an amazing success story. Now, time to look at a few of the other Midlands business headlines. And there's been some disappointing news for the manufacturing sector in the region after a new report revealed it was having a tougher than expected time in the West Midlands. The latest quarterly manufacturing outlook survey published by manufacturers organisation the EEF and DLA Piper reveals weaker than expected growth. There is, however, good news for the region, with revelations that it will be hosting the UK's first Automechanica trade show, aimed at the motor industry's supply chain. The Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders is linking up with the world's biggest trade show organiser to launch Automechanica at the NEC in Birmingham. Now, this is a major event which has run in Frankfurt since 1971 and has become the world's biggest international trade fair brand for the automotive sector. Birmingham joins a list of locations which also includes Chicago, Dubai, Istanbul and also St. Petersburg. And finally, there's a new face at the helm of West Bromwich-based Aluminium Products Limited. Her name's Gina Stevenson, and she says she's looking to expand on the firm's recent successes, which have included producing decorative lighting for Canary Wharf, retro seating for Selfridges, and even products for the James Bond movie Skyfall. Some real headline-grabbing stuff there. That's just a snapshot of some of the fantastic stories taking place around the West Midlands economy. And Midlands Business Update is all about trying to showcase them. So don't forget, if your company has got a success story to tell, if you've got a product you're looking to launch, or if you've got a point of view on the local economy that you would like to air, well, we want to hear from you. You could be on Midlands Business Update sofa next week. It's easy to contact us. You can email us and the address is business@bigcentre.tv. You can contact us through the Facebook page where you can also comment on anything you've seen on this show, or you can log on to the website where you can watch back some of the previous shows and interact with us there. Don't forget, we want to know your news. That's what we're here for. We'll see you again soon.